Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Sporemon. I'm Jack, and in this episode, we're going to be starting to look over the next section, which are 5-stage evolution lines. Well, 5-stage may not be the best way to put it, because really they are 1 to 3 stages with an alternate evolution for the final stage, and then a mega evolution for the final stage. So basically, how all of these are going to work is there's the base form, which will evolve into the second form, which will then evolve into either the final form or the alternate final form, which has a type change and then some stat changes. And then the final form, the basic final form, will also have a mega evolution that it can temporarily go into. So let's start off with our first line, the Ignomon line. Starting with little Ignomon here. None of these will be based on Latin anymore, by the way. They're all going to be just general Pokemon sounding names that I created. This one being based off of fire and monster. It's a fire and dark type. Is the Imp Sporemon, so it's based in like hell. You can see it's real small. It's got some little horns, tail spike, some hooves, sort of a mandible mouth, and one big eye. So for this little guy, stats are very unimpressive. Slightly more in the special department than physical department, but overall everything's really low. Not going to have much use for him. Physical and special are equal in between each other, as you can see, with 30, 30, 35, 35. Speed quite low. And its ability is Hellborn, which means immune to all fire type attacks and effects. So, sure, it's already fire type, so it would resist fire, so being immune to it doesn't do too much for it, but it's also immune to its effects, meaning fire type environments as well as being burned. Uh, and I'd imagine like turn by turn fire type damage as well. So that can be useful. Anyway, Ignomon evolves into Flamonstro. Same basic naming premise, flame and monster. This is the Demon Sporemon, still fire and dark type. You can tell it's bigger mouth, larger tail spike, some horns, big eye, and some hooves. As far as stats go, you can see its stats are starting to actually move towards what they're going to be finally. Special definitely still higher, but special attack is now greater than special defense. So you definitely want to be using special attack. However, its attack isn't bad. You can still use it, and then its defenses are both fine. However, special defense is better, and speed is still on the low side, but also getting better. Its ability is still Hellborn with the same description. All right, moving on to the final evolution for the final main evolution without the Mega, which is Infernamon. Same again, basic naming premise, Inferno and monster. The Devil Sporemon. He's not huge for a final evolution. He's actually kind of on the small side. His HP is pretty good though. And then you can see the stats. His special attack is finally really gone above the rest of his attacks or the rest of his stats. Special defense definitely still better than regular defense, and then attack not terrible, but definitely falling further behind special attack. And speed on the slow side, but still it's more usable now. His ability is now Hell King, which means he is immune to all fire type attacks and effects, and when he's hit by a fire type attack, he will gain 1 stage special attack and speed. Right, okay, so same as the other ones, except he's got the added bonus of being when he's hit by one, he'll gain some stat points. All right, moving on to I think I will do the we'll just go in order. Next is Geizamon. So this is a water and dark, so it's the type change went from fire to water. And this is now the Geyser Sporemon. He's still quite small, so definitely less HP than his counterpart. I think all of his stats are actually lower, so there's not wouldn't be much reason, except for speed. but there wouldn't be much reason to use this one instead. His ability is Steam Geyser. When he's hit by a fire type attack, he gains one special attack and speed. So same as Hell King, except without the added bonus of being immune to fire type effects. Yeah, like I said, not much reason to pick this one over the other one, unless you really wanted a speedy water type, I suppose. And then the Mega Infernamon. So his stats are now really starting to take shape. This is his true final form. You can see he's massive now. Two mouths, big eye, a lot of hornage, and a larger tail spikes, which are starting to look more like the devil's pitchfork. HP is now quite good. Same with attack is actually quite good as well. Not nearly as good as his special attack though, which is actually fantastic. And then special defense, pretty good. Defense, fine. And then speed, definitely even better. So now he's definitely more of a special tank who can deal some massive damage. Massive special damage, and then also pretty good attack damage. His ability, still Hell King. It's the same. So there is the Devil Sporemon. And that is the entirety of the first line. Now we're going to move on to the Zappertooth line. This line is based off of the Sabertooth. And I believe the main line is Ice and Electric, with the alter evolution being Fire and Electric. Yeah. So this is the Shocking Sporemon, little Zappertooth. He's pretty cute. Yeah, quite small, as all first evolutions are. Ice and Electric. Stats, highest is definitely special attack, other than speed, which is actually already really good. So yeah, definitely a special attacker. Not pretty bad defense. That's the one weakness I'd say he has. And his ability is Static. When he's hit by a physical attack, he has a 50% chance to paralyze the enemy, meaning that drops their speed, and there's a chance that they won't be able to attack each turn. And then also all of his attacks have a 35% chance to paralyze. So this is definitely a big paralyzer. All right, moving on from Zappertooth to Electusk. It's also the naming, Zap and Tooth, very simple. Same with Electric and Tusk. This is the Smilodon Sporemon. You can see he's definitely much bigger. He's in more of an attack stance than his pre-evolution. Starting to get some ice crystal growth on him, a bigger mohawk, and also two instead of one. Still ice and electric. He is stats wise, attack and special attack are starting to become quite good, with defenses lagging behind, but special defense definitely being higher. And his speed is getting even better with him actually being very, very fast by now. His ability is static. When he's hit by, it's the same, except slightly better percent chances. All right, moving on from Electusk is Electrodon, which is electric and Smilodon, or electric and tooth, Latin for tooth. Get him to stand up here. All right, so you can see he's quite big now, very beefy. Still in that attack position, bigger mohawk. He's got much larger ice crystals that are yellow from being charged with electricity, I'd imagine. He's the Sabertooth Sporemon, ice and electric. HP ending in pretty middling HP. He's definitely not a tank with only decent defense. His attacks are quite good though. Special attack still being higher, but quite good. And speed is fantastic. He's going to outspeed almost everything. He still has the static ability with better percent chances, and then he also has Sharp Tooth, which is increased critical hit rate for physical attacks. So even though his special attack is higher, if you use physical attacks, you have a much higher critical hit rate, which can be very useful for hitting through stat buffs, as well as just getting large damage boosts. Now for the alter type evolution, this is Burstodon, burst like a flame burst with Smilodon. He is fire and electric. You can see his tail is held up in the air. I'd imagine he whips it down in a burst of fire and electricity. Got frills all over his body, bright yellows and oranges with some red base. So his stats, most of them get lowered, except special attack and special defense are both higher than the main line. Speed just a little lower. So he's actually a better special sweeper with that super fast speed and special attack, high special attack. He still has the static ability and sharp 2, so same abilities as the other one, probably just because they aren't really type specific. All right, moving on to the Mega Electrodon. Stats quite good. It really, let's get him standing up. Oh, there we go. The Sabertooth still, he HP a little better. Attack and special attack are still quite high. Special defense is boosted and speed is boosted, so he's a really good, fast special attacker. And with the same abilities, except even higher percentages. So there's a very, very, very likely that when he's attacked by a physical attack, he's going to paralyze his attacker. All right. That's it for that line. And I think we'll do one more line for this video. This is one of my personal favorites. The Dracosect line. This is dragon and bug type, except for dragon and poison type for the altar. So starting off here with Dracosect, pretty simple, Draco and insect. The Troodon, Sporemon, based off of a Troodon, it's a type of dinosaur. Yeah, bug and dragon type, so actually primarily bug. Stats wise, as far as a first evolution goes, he has quite high attack, but then quite low special attack and special defense, and semi decent speed. And his ability is Dragon Rage, meaning he gains one attack stage every turn. So this thing is going to have absolutely massive attack even early on. Next up is Dragopede, dragon and centipede. This is the Allosaurus, so he's based off of an Allosaurus, which is certainly much larger than a Troodon. Still has quite impressive attack, which is pretty good defense also, probably because of the bug exoskeleton sort of appearance that he has. Special attack, special defense, quite low still. Speed, getting better, kind of just a little sub-average now. And his ability is still Dragon Rage. So this thing is really going to have just massive attack for mid-game. And then for late game, the final evolution is Tyrannosectus, Tyrannosaurus and insect. The Tyrannosaurus Sporemon. Yeah, stats wise, HP, attack, defense, all quite good. Special attack is actually getting quite high now. I'd say it's usable, not favorable against his much higher special attack, but still usable. Special defense, getting up there, not great. Speed, also not fantastic, but definitely not slow. And ability is still Dragon Rage. So this thing, again, massive attack stat. Next is Venatoxus, the Alter Evolution, which is Poison and Dragon. He's based off of a Suchomimus, so a Spinosaurid. You can see he's got all kinds of poison attributes, a large poisonous gland on his head, as well as in his mouth, his tail. He's got some large spikes on his back and head, and a frill on his nose, bright greens and purples. So his HP, attack, and defense are all lower. However, his special attack, special defense, and speed are all higher. And he still has the Dragon Rage. Except, oh, actually, I didn't see it is actually one attack and special attack. Is that also what Tyrannosectus has? It is. Okay. So they gain one attack and special attack stage each turn, which with the more even stats that Venatoxus has, he's much more of a jack of all trades, and he's going to be able to utilize both of those stats much more, but with lower stats overall. And then the Mega Tyrannosectus, the Tyrannosaurus Rex Pokemon, Sporemon, sorry. You can see he's got much darker base coloring with brighter accent coloring. He also has multiple eyes, as many bugs do, some larger mandibles, larger overall by far, high HP, really high attack, high defense, actually really high special attack and special defense too. So all of his stats are actually quite buff, and speed only average. And still it has the Dragon Rage abilities. So this thing is going to have absolutely massive attack and special attack very quickly, an absolute force to be reckoned with for sure. All right, and with that, I believe that's all of the lines I'm going to go over in this video. In the next video, we're going to go over the next 3 5-stage evolution lines, and I'll see you then. Bye.